Okay, we'll move on to the packet. Item letter C in old business, Hillsdale Mobile Home Park. Dave.
So, you do have in your packet the information that I was provided by Mr. John Salesman, since the last meeting, basically not being able to give us a list of items that he would spend the $221,000 on in the park, indicating that he would need to go to his board. So I put that in the packet along with the previous summary and actually a summary that was put together by him and handed out to the finance committee at the prior to the last meeting. So he did indicate he could not be here tonight, so we could discuss this further here, or we could attempt to get him to the next November meeting to discuss with council.
That would be my preference, would be to have the gentleman here again, and to give him opportunity to meet with his board. But council?
I'll jump on it. I say it's bull what he's pulling on us. That's my personal opinion. Take a drive. I know if you drove through that trailer park, and it's disgusting. The residents are disgusted. He says it's a great trailer park. They pay $425 a month. The one over in Evergreen and Jonesville pays $400 a month. Take a drive through that, take a look. Compare the parks.
Evergreen's got so many stipulations on it though that the Hillsdale one doesn't. Like, you gotta be, what, senior citizen? How old do you no children in the park, retirement?
Well, they have children in that park, but they have no playground. They have the street to run around in. That's their playground.
I know.
It's disgusting, and he's not here. He said he'd have us something in 2 weeks. That didn't happen. Obviously, he's got to meet with this big board of his, the hedge fund company that owns all this. There's a lot to the story, which I gave all of you the opportunity to see this, because I personally delivered it to you guys. If you weren't there, I made sure you got it, and I hope you all read it, because I'm ready for this guy. I hope he's here. Then if you want to put it off to the next meeting, I'll be even hungrier then for him, because I've had enough, and it's time we hold them to their account, their word, and there haven't been their word.
Go ahead. I apologize, Bruce. I was going to ask Dave, can we contact the gentleman, tell him he has to be here at this next meeting, or we're just going to allow it, or they're just going to have to pay the $220,000?
Sure. Yes.
So he has to be here, he has to do what he said he was going to do, or council's just not going to discuss it anymore, he gets the $220,000. I think we've been more than understanding with this guy.
Can I say something else, please?
Yeah.
We as the board took our time, the finance committee, and spent a lot of time on this. And your guys, with your other boards, the council, you do your due diligence and homework on it. And this was our due diligence and homework on this. And we would hope you would follow what our recommendations are. Of course, we'd have a good debate about it, but that's what the finance committee came up with. And okay, we'll give him to the next council meeting, but he better be here.
Does that sound fair? If he's not here, then they just got the
$221,890.
and we won't revisit it again after that.
Correct.
Okay. So that's it. He can come at the next meeting and do what he said he was going to do at the last meeting, or we're just not discussing it any further. The fines are on the table. We voted. Yes, sir.
Just to clarify, the vote we took at the October 5th meeting requires, right now, they're required to pay us the $221,000.
That's correct. All we rejected was the 10% payment of the $22,000.
Which they rejected.
Yes.
When we presented it to them.
They were rejecting it, yeah, Councilman Palladino.
Is interest still accruing on the back debt? I thought something was said about postponing it once he, or halting the accumulation of interest once he paid the statutory fee, minus fees and interest.
Well, yeah. Yes, so the interest on so when you fail to pay it for 1 month, right? So for that month, you start running interest and late fees until you've paid that tax. I think I read that statute as saying, once you've paid the tax, you probably cut off the interest and the penalties, but, I don't know definitively that that's the case, but I think that's probably the way that you would handle it. So, once he paid off that month, they stopped running on that. If he's paid it all off, or if the park has paid it all off, then I'd say at this point, they're not accruing any more interest.
And I would add to that, that's how the city treasurer is looking at it as well, is that once he paid that original $6,324, it locked in the civil penalty side as the 200 or 200.
$21,890.
Exactly.
Okay. Councilman Salat?
Also, in this, this particular company, I think they purchased 17 parks in the state of Michigan. And so for them to plead ignorance doesn't hold water with me. And the fact that just to remind council, Peter sent them a letter on January of 2022 when it was realized that they hadn't been paying this. Is that correct, Mr. Mackey?
Yes.
And then he sent another one in 2023 in January.
Correct.
And that's what got their attention because it was over $300,000 is what we had estimated.
Correct.
And then we corrected it when they gave us the numbers of occupied. All right, so just wanted to remind council that the city was very forthright to attempt to communicate and resolve this. And extremely generous, in my opinion, with the 10% settlement fee that the company rejected, so. And they sued us because their water meters were broken, and that suit was summarily dismissed. So, just an FYI.
Okay, so he's got till the next meeting. Okay. We'll move on, new business.